Hello everyone, this is Rodney back at you with another Hot Rod special. Now, you notice lately I haven't been doing these on a weekly um, basis. Well, here's the deal. Um, I'm doing these on uh, another basis now. Instead of doing them weekly, I prefer to do them when the topics arise. When people phone in or send me emails on certain topics, then I will, initiate a way to blend a lot of the emails and other things that I get and make a decision on what the show topic may be. But then again, um, many things might come up, that I come in conference with a lot of times, and that may be the idea of a show. Today I'm going to bring you a show which I will call People Pleasers. People Pleasers. Some would say upon meeting someone, one must know what to say. Do you agree with that? Well, I say no. No. This is what I say. I say something. This is what I would do. I would say something even if you are unsure what to say. I know that doesn't make sense to a lot of people. Listen. The person talking to you may know one or two things, or may do one or two things. Yet, this is what they may do. One, quickly lose interest and stall away out of the conversation. Or two, admit they don't have it all together either. Encourage you saying it's okay, we will work it out, bear it with you. Coming up with helpful ideas, having a winning attitude. Now, person number one is one, critical of others. They are interested in you massaging their ego. And C, you continue to add to them while they subtract from you until they lose complete interest and leave you on the side of the road. In other words, a constituent, maybe even a comrade. On the other hand, although different, yet the same applies. See, that don't, let's put it this way. They don't like you personally. Let's talk about constituents. Constituents don't like you personally, do they? Yes, they do. They like you, and they may not even like what you do. But on the other hand, comrades are different. Comrades don't even like, who you are, but they might like what you do. You see the difference? But when I say all the same here, I'm saying that to say that at any rate, if they gain interest, it's only because of what you are supplying. If they lose interest, it's because what you were supplying, you're not supplying anymore. But watch this. Their interest is in what you do. If you ever stop doing what interests them, they will leave you at the drop of a hat. Comrades are known for confirming to you people in their sights whom are better than you. Comrades are known for confirming in your sight people who are better than you. And most most of the time, the people who are like this, they come in many different walks of life. It's like the it's like the sermon I wrote back some time ago. I call it a who's who. You know, there are people at the top who share this, and there are people at the bottom who share this. Um, you know, you just most of us need to watch out for things. We need to really get it together in this area, because some of us are hanging out with people who are just interested in us because we have something to offer. We have money, we have cars, we have this and we have that. You know, and as long as you're always feeding, they are always on your trail. They'll always be your friend. They'll always stick close to you. But the minute everything stops, they stop. See, in my life, I'm surrounded by confidants. If I come into view of my life and find that there's any one constituent or any one Conrad in my life, I am letting them go. I don't care how good they are. I don't care how bad they are. I'm letting them go. I want to be surrounded by confidants in my life. I made that decision, and I'm sticking to it, because I discovered if you're ever going to really feel the compassion that's within you to a greater degree in this life for the short time we have here, it makes no sense for you to hang out with people who are just about you feeding them everything they need, in life. Here's the deal. Unless you were called to it, that's one thing. But if you're not called to it, don't waste your time. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't keep feeding a bottomless pit. You know? You're feeding somebody who's not working in the things that are compassionate to them. And I don't care what I say again. I don't care what higher levels they're on. They might be in the Senate, making a whole lot of money, but something about them, they don't belong there. Some folk don't belong there, but they're just there for the perks, for the money, for whatever it is they can gain to gain respect and perspective in their lives. But that's not where their compassion has led them. And how do I know that? Well, look at the way things are. You got Republicans against Democrats, and you got independents against the Republicans, and you got all these other free flyer, persons running around with their heads cut off. But yet you have one president in place who is really making an effort to do the job that needs to be done in Washington. You know what I'm saying? So whether he's black or white or whatever, a Muslim, I don't care. It doesn't even matter to me. I'm not a racist at all. I believe he's the guy. He can do things up there. And I believe that. So here's the deal. Let me get off of that subject, by the way. I don't know how I got in there, but I just had to bring that one forward. Barack Obama is a cool president. But let me say this. I'll say this. Here's the deal. You make up in your mind what you want in life. It's up to you. Whatever you accept in your life, then understand those are the things you're going to find yourself actually governed by. You're going to be your whole perspective in life ought to be to look for the things that are in line with the compassion that is, that is reared in you, you know. But many of us just go for the perks. We go for what looks good, what feels good. And that's not always the case. That's not always the way it should be. As a matter of truth, when, you're looking for people to give you the desires of your heart. Not another entity who says, I can do these things. But yet, the entity who said these things is an entity whom I know and trust to do them. Uh, there was a saying back some time ago. Well, actually, it wasn't a saying. I just recall one apostle. I believe his name was Paul, Apostle Paul. You know, and I heard these words. And he says, "I've learned to be content in all things." Then I heard this one come down the line. It says, "If this is my lot, then thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. O Lord, if I can't change it, then help me to be content until you decide to change it." Here's the deal. Some of us haven't learned to be content. I don't care if you tell yourself every day, I'm content. I'm this, I'm that. You're lying. Some of us are just plain lying to ourselves. And I see it on the faces of many people. I speak at many programs. The Strong Father, Strong Family program. I'm there. I'm there with the father-son bonding program. I'm there, the parenting program. I do speeches all over the place. And I look in the faces of some people and I hear some stuff, that's coming out of their mouths, and I'll be like, what in the world is these people thinking of? What is this person thinking? That somebody's going to actually believe what they're saying. And, when we hear stuff like this, around the room, it's kind of a cliche-ish thing, but we do it. We laugh about it, and then we say, oh man, what's this person thinking, such and such and such, but we never really take it seriously, what's going on in the mind of the person. We just laugh it off, because we want this transition, this meeting, or whatever we're doing, we want this to go smoothly, regardless, But, we don't want to spot one poison pill in the whole thing, because we just want things to go smoothly. We want to overlook all the madness that could possibly be in our hearing today, or in this meeting today, or in this conference today. A lot of times when I hear people talk about going to, programs, and and it's all a lot of just go into the program. Not what I got out of it. Just getting there and getting there on time so that I won't catch hell down the road. And that's basically all I'm hearing. So I'm asking the question, and I've been asking the question, what could be going on in these meetings that nobody's talking anything positive about them? Except if I don't show up on time, then something gonna happen. I might not get my stuff, and crazy stuff like that. So, this is my point today. It all goes back to what I said earlier. It all goes back to what I said earlier. It's who you're dealing with. And, I'm saying this to say, even if it is you, If you are that constituent, if you are that, comrade, I'm talking to you, you know, because truthfully, you're not ever going to get your satisfaction out of anything anyway. At least not going the route you're taking. Not going to get it. I don't care how much you innuendo, swindle, kindle. I don't care. You're just not going to get what you're looking for until you face your own demons and realize there's a compassionate self in you that you ought to face and run with that. Because see, when the problem with that is, when you have that kind of mentality, you are dependent upon something else. I know what you're saying. You say, well, I got a nice job. I'm working. I'm taking care of myself. You're saying I got this and that and this and that, and I'm going up, life is good and this, but no. Because you always need something to keep you going. Something you yourself have not even, fortified within yourself. In other words, it's like there's a missing ingredient in your life. And you need somebody to fill it when it's already with you and has been with you all this time. You just didn't have the courage to face it. The deal is, in my knowledge and understanding, and I've been around history. I've studied history when I was in college. I've studied history. And one of the major things that hit me, in college when I was studying history was the point about a man's own way to satisfaction. One of the major things that hit me was Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud puts it like this. He said the one thing that drives the man, and I'll translate man or woman. He said it is the sex urge or the desire to be great. That's it. That's it. That you might say, now, good God, now how did that come into? Well, I'm showing you. The desire to be great. In other words, he never said that one was just going to be great. He said many of us have desires to be. But the problem is, right in between there somewhere, desire to be, where it says to be, a lot of us are, to the left, to the right of our destiny, and, we're going afar off on this end, afar off on that end. But we're not ever seeing the light. We're not ever seeing the broad picture. What would it take for you to give up the lesser for the greater? Understanding that you must have courage to go through the process to get the greatness. See, because right there where it says to be great, to be great, the desire to be great, well, to be means you're going through a process to become great. See, you don't just go from desire to great. You go from desire through a process, okay, that leads to greatness. I don't know about you, but when I come into a room and turn a light on, I realized one thing. I'm coming into the room before turning the light on. You didn't get that. I'm coming into the room to turn the light on. You know? Now there's some light switches that are outside the door you can click on, like at in a closet or something like that. Sometimes you can click on the light switch outside the door and open the door, there's light. Okay? But that's in a closet. Most of the time it's in a closet or some other storage room. I'm trying to say something, you didn't get it. A storage room or closet. You could turn the light on from the outside. Well, normally, you know, if you look at that in another perspective, that'd be a person looking into your situation. You know, they'll come into your closet and switch the light on from the outside. I'm just trying to tell you how transparent you are when it comes to people. You didn't get that. But you can come in the room, close your door, turn your light on. Get it? As opposed to somebody else seeing in, except from under the door, maybe to the side, where there's a crack, maybe they can see something. But otherwise, you're in that room alone, with your light on. Now, and quiet as it is kept, I've come into rooms and turned lights on in the doggone light blue as soon as I turn it on. Trying to say something right there, you didn't get it. But if you kind of you know, look at this in a parable, you turn on the light and the light goes off. Let me show you something. Let me show you something in the spiritual that happened in the natural. Watch. Somebody comes into a room and turns the light on and all of a sudden it blanks out. Well, sometimes in different intervals in life, I don't know if anybody read the book Secrets. There's a book out there some time ago. It's called Secrets. You know, and it said you know, it helped me to understand that once you you know, get in the conference or get in the area of the light, and you begin to see light, then you know that is a point where your life could be cut off right then and there. See, God is not so interested in all your travels and things you do good in life and all this wonderful other stuff and all of that, except you meet Him, you know, at a point in your life where you can be saved. God may chose to take you right then and there. I mean, that may have been the choice, you know, that He made for you. That you know, because He figures if you step out of this room and head out into the world, you'll sin again and lose. But He says, this might be a good point to get them right here and right now. And just think, he thought about this before the foundations. You ain't getting it. But let me close by saying this. I didn't get off track as to what I was trying to convey to you. Because what I'm saying is simply this. You either be a realist. Let's put it this way. You either be real or you're not real. You know, you want to be a joke, you want to be a fake all your life, do so. Go ahead. Go out there and act stupid. Get out there and act ignorant. You know, yeah, go out there and pump yourself up full of heroin all day, every day. You go ahead. You know, be all you can be. You know. But if you ever want to face the real truth, that's right there in front of your face when you turn that light on, so be it. Because believe me, it's willing to face you. You know what I'm saying? And see, you thinking like you got all this time in the world. Let me help you. You don't. Because at some point, the very same spirit that adopted you can do away with you. This is Rodney with another Hot Rod Special. I'm out. Take care, take charge.